Welcome to New Zealand's biggest gap year, an epic challenge that my partner Laura and I decided to tackle a few years back. The challenge, 365 activities in 365 days all around New Zealand. And today is day 231 and we're checking out an alpaca farm in Akaroa. And the alpacas are so cute. Alright, join me at the end of the video when I'm gonna go over all the comments and questions you had the first time we published it. This morning before our tour, we take the time to help our host here in Akaroa. They are trying to round up about 30 cows for their farm. So far we only lost 3 cows out of 30. It's not too bad, it's not too bad. But with a little bit of teamwork and a lot of patience, we finally successfully round up all those cows and move them from one paddock to the other. It was kind of a standoff because those cows really did not want to move. But we're leaving this farm for another farm because today our activity takes us to an alpaca farm. It's called Shamarra and it's in the Banks Peninsula.
These alpacas are raised on a farm with postcard-worthy views overlooking the stunning Akaroa harbour, and today we are meeting our guides Frank and Anya, who have farmed this alpaca farm for over 10 years with about 130 alpacas here, and Anya knows the name of every single one of them. To be honest, we know absolutely nothing about alpacas, but once we get into the fields with them, we just realize how cute these little guys are. They're so interesting to look at with their super long necks and their sort of scrunched up faces. They kind of look like a camel/llama. But of course, the main feature of alpacas is their wool, and this is what they're farmed for. They are, like sheep, farmed for their wool to make, you know, all sorts of clothing and garments. We're going to be learning more about that on the farm tour itself, but for now, one of the stars of the show for the tour needs to be transferred from this paddock to a indoor pen for the tour. So I put my hand up, I volunteer, I'll give this cute little alpaca a walk to its pen.
So Laura is taking this alpaca all across the entire gift shop and factory of Shamarra Alpaca into its pen. But this is not where we're going to be stopping right now. We are going to backtrack and go back into the gift shop. The Shamarra gift shop has everything you want about alpaca. There is a ton of wool stuff, there is jumpers, there is hat, there is scarf, there is really hip stuff, and there is also Frank, which is waiting for us for the beginning of our tour. Frank starts by giving us a little bit of the basic rundown on alpacas because I'll be honest, nobody in the group and me neither knows anything about alpaca. So those weird animals are from South America and they have very weird dating habits.
The female is not interested in any long-term relationship. She doesn't want a boyfriend, she just wants to get pregnant. Once the male's made her pregnant, she's got no use for the male whatsoever.
She just spits on him.
Just spits on him. That's how we test for pregnancy. We call it the spit-off. We bring the male and female together. If the female spits at the male, we know it's the first phase of pregnancy is complete. We do it a second time. If she spits a second time, then we know she's pregnant.
We then move on to a room where we're going to be able to get a first-hand experience with the very fine alpaca wool. The alpaca wool is actually hypoallergenic, which is quite interesting, and there is 22 natural color that the wool comes into. So basically, they never really have to dye the alpaca wool to make their whole range of clothing. Nicely waiting in the pen, we meet back up with Laura's alpaca, where Frank is going to tell us why alpacas spit on each other. It's basically just a basic male territorial behavior. And speaking of male alpacas, we are making our way toward the male paddock where all the male alpaca are gathered together. They know that when the tour is here, food is going to be abundant, so they are gathering around the whole crowd. It's pretty awesome.
Anya literally knows the name of every single alpaca in this farm. She knows all their traits and she's telling us more about them, and she's also giving us some hints on good ways to actually stroke the alpacas that they like, and of course it is on their huge long necks. With amazing views in the background and these super cuddly animals, there's plenty of photo opportunities to be had. But we're now moving into the next paddock, which is the paddock full of female alpacas, and it's feeding time. And this just goes to show how interactive this tour is. We're going around the whole paddock feeding all the female alpacas, which, to be fair, some of them are a little bit picky. I mean, I've got a full bucket of food here and some of them just won't have any of it. But you can always rely on one greedy lady to take all the food.
And after feeding all the ladies, we are then moving on to the last paddock of the tour. And brace yourself, guys. It's the baby alpaca paddock. It's absolutely amazing. All those babies are 3 to 4 weeks old. They are absolutely amazingly cute. They are super inquisitive. They are staying really close to their mum, but they are coming really close up to our cameras as soon as we are stopping to move around. It's cuteness overload. I'm not emotionally prepared for that. They're running after us, they are checking out the camera, they are running on top of each other, they are standing in front of the wind, they are looking for some food, they are smelling up our hand and our feet and our clothes and our backpack. They are coming to get stroked, they are coming to be pet, they are running after each other, they are playing together, they are stroking each other, they are running around the whole paddock, they are rolling into the mud, they are taking a nap, they are doing so many cute things. It's amazing, and every single time we pop a camera out, they have to put their face right in front of it. Oh my god!
Phew! All in all, it is cuteness overload here at the alpaca farm in Akaroa. We never realized how amazing these creatures are. So after seeing the male alpaca paddock, we are heading toward the female alpaca paddock. Alpaca paddock, alpaca paddock, alpaca paddock. Male alpaca, female alpaca paddock. They are so cute. Alpaca paddock, alpaca paddock, alpaca paddock. Male alpaca, female alpaca. Oh my god, their wool is the fluffiest. Fluffiest. Alpaca paddock, alpaca paddock, alpaca paddock, alpaca paddock, alpaca paddock, alpaca paddock. Known for being a bit sassy. Alpaca paddock, alpaca paddock, alpaca paddock.
Okay, that is probably the lamest rap I've ever seen in my life, but man, I just had so much fun editing it. I remember just giggling to myself. Maybe it's just an inside joke, but I was just having a blast with it. Alright, so when it comes down to comments, we do have some people that are saying that the alpacas are so cute and it makes them smile with all their teeth. That's pretty cute. We have Little Lulu that says, what do they do to the alpaca in a farm? Do they shear the fur or do they butcher the alpacas? So no, they don't butcher the alpacas. They actually use the wool of the alpaca. So they have one of the softest wool in the world. So they use the wool for the alpaca to create garments and scarves. And you saw us kind of seeing some of them in the gift shop during the video. So that's what they do with the alpaca. And the next question we have is from Robert Laliberte that says, do you remember how long the tour was? So it's kind of a short tour. It's an hour and a half at most. So it's definitely not something that's going to take your entire day. So it's a really great pit stop along the way. So yeah, it's not the longest of all tours. Alright guys, if you do have questions of your own, you can put them in the comment of this video or join us during the NZ Travel Show. It's happening every single week at 8 AM New Zealand time on Sundays. And we spend 1 hour answering all your questions about traveling in New Zealand. So you can plan your trip to New Zealand with the experts. If Laura and I are considered as experts. I think we are. Another great tool for you to plan your trip to New Zealand is nzpocketguide.com. It's Laura and I, it's our little baby, right? It's New Zealand's largest travel guide. There's thousands and thousands of articles for you to plan the best trip to New Zealand. And on top of that, we are making it all 100% free to everybody. Another thing you can be doing is to hit like and subscribe because that's going to be a great way to support all our hard work, and you can join us on Patreon if you choose to do so. There is a link in the description below. Alright, see you in the next video. Bye bye.